Okay. Okay, cool. So we'll go to the code then. Okay, cool. So basically, what we are going to make a neural network, which basically, which in which we are going to give these handwritten inputs, and we will tell the neural network to classify what number it is. Something I guess everyone wanted to do all the time, like giving input. Like this is the example I always wanted to try out, and so we are going to try this out. So the goal of this network is that we will be giving an input, a handwritten digit input, and then we will tell the network to predict what number it is. So yeah, so basically let us see the code. So first what we do is that we import data set from Keras, and the data set that we are going to import is MNIST. So this is the MNIST basically consists all of these input, all of these images which we are going to give as input to our network, and then it will predict if, and then the network will basically predict what number it is. So yeah, first what we'll do is that we will import the data set from MNIST. Then we will import the matplot library, which is basically we are going to use to see how well our network is predicting using the graph. So basically it is something that helps us give graphs. Now the input, yeah. So Xtrain is basically training examples. Ytrain is again a training example. Xtest will have some testing examples, and Ytest will again have testing examples. So basically what we do is that if we have some big data set, for example, we have some 50,000 images as a data set. So what we try to do is that we make partitions. We will give some part of data and we'll call it as training data, and we will give this training data to our network so that it trains on that data. And then after the network is trained, what we can do is that the remaining part of the data, like suppose we have 50,000 images, what we'll do is that we will tell the network that we'll give the network 40,000 images so that the network trains on that images. And then the remaining 10,000 images, what we will do is that we will use them to check if our network is making the right predictions or not, and that's how we'll be able to see how our network is doing, if it's going to do good or not. So yeah, as I said, so yeah, here Xtrain is going to have some 60,000 examples, and since here we are going to send images as an input to the neural network, you can see how the input is going to be. So in this GIF, you can see that there's a handwritten digits 2. Now this 2 or 7, what it happens is that it is basically an image of 28, but here it is an image of some different pixels. But what we have is that we have images of 28 and 28 by 28 pixels. So basically, if this is an image, so we have an image of 28 by 28 pixel, and all of these pixels are basically, you can see how it is getting converted into a single layer. So this GIF I guess explains how we are going to give input to the network. So first we'll look that yes, in our example, so what is happening is that 60,000 images are going to be 60,000 images, each of size 28 by 28. Xtrain.shape will give us the size of the matrix. So we have 60,000 images which will be used as training data. Then we will have 10,000 images which will be again used as testing data, each of 28 by 28 pixels. Then what we will do is that obviously we can just copy and paste and give that output to the neural network. It's not going to take an image as a neural network, image as an input. So what we will need to do is that we will need to give that image in terms of some matrix or in terms of some numbers to the neural network, so that it can propagate ahead and calculate and check if that number, what number it is. So what we will do is that we'll do flattening of the images. So our image is basically of the size 28 by 28 pixels. We saw that how our image is made up of 28 by 28 pixels in this example. So it is of 28 by 28 pixels. Now and how the like this is going to be the input to the neural networks. So we define image vector size, and this vector is nothing but it is a column vector of 28 by 28 size. So here you can see how this each and every input of this image is given to this network, right? So suppose so now 28 by 28, that means 786. So here we have 784. That means the image size would be different. So but if we had an image size of 28 by 28, then like this of 786 by 1 or 1 of 786 inputs, then then we see. Okay, I'll just run this and we'll run it. We see that the training data set, we have 60,000 data of 60,000 images of 28 by 28 pixels. Then we see the test data shape. It is 10,000 images of 28 by 28 pixel. We'll let it run. Okay, so yeah, our code has done compiling. So we get this as the training data is 60,000 images. Again, I said 60,000 images of 28 by 28 size, 10,000 images of 28 by 28 pixels. So now what we do, then we import Keras. Now I guess all of you here know what one-not encoding is. If you don't know what one-not encoding is, basically this was covered in the first track of MLFest. So one-not encoding is basically a way of labeling things. Suppose let's consider this example. We had some input, red, yellow. We had colors as an input, and we wanted to what we wanted to do is that we wanted to give this letters or these colors as some binary input to the network. So what we did was suppose if the color was red, then we said 1 0 0. If the color was red, then we would give the input as 1 0 0. If the color was yellow, then it would be 0 1 0. And if the color is green, then the input would be 0 0 1. Fairly simple, right? Whichever label it is, that would be 1, others would be 0. So here what we do is that we import Keras, which is a library which you will be using a lot for whenever you are going to train some neural network. Then the classes will be of 10 types. Why the classes are of 10 types? Because obviously we have numbers from 0 1 2 3 4 and up till 10, right? So we have 10 classes, as in like just like we had here red, yellow and green. We are going to have 1 0 1 2 3, and that's how we are going to that those would be the classes. Then moving on, okay, we'll just see what this prints. Okay, so as I said, the labeling of data. So how it happens? So basically, first this thing, this array, what it would signify is that this is an image of the label 5, because it's 0 1 2 3 4 and 5. This is for the fifth one, it is saying 1. So basically what this signifies is that this is an image of label 1. This would signify that this is an image of label 0. This would again signify as an image of label 0 1 2 3 4. So this is an image of label 4, and similarly you can see how we converted these vectors to one-not. Then moving on to the next part of the code, then what we do is that from Keras we import dense, and again from keras.models we import sequential. Now what dense and what sequential is? So sequential, so Keras, from the definition of Keras, sequential is nothing but it is a model of linear layers, like these layers we are talking about here. Now layer yeah, we know layers, right? We are studying neural networks. So obviously each layer, so suppose this is the first layer, this is second layer, and this is the output layer. So sequential is nothing but it helps us define a model which has n layers. And then what dense is basically, dense layer is the it is basically a regular deeply connected neural network layer. So sequential is basically this whole model. You can understand sequential and dense as sequential basically helps us build this whole network. Dense acts as like each layer. So whenever we will use dense, basically it would be like adding a layer. So now the image size is 784, that is 28 by 28 pixel. The classes would be 10 because there are 10 unique digits. Then what we will define a model of the type sequential. So this will define it will define a random network model, neural network model for us. Then to that neural network, we will add through this model dot add property. Through this, we will add a layer. So basically this part of the code, I hope it's visible. So what we will do is that model, the first line of this code, what it does is model dot add dense. That is, we are adding a layer to our model. It accepts these many these as the parameters. Units 32 specify that in the first layer. So in the first layer there would be 32 neurons. That's what units specify. So units equal to 32 means that the first layer will have 32 neurons. Activation sigmoid, we saw activation function. So basically the activation function for the first layer would be sigmoid. And input shape is equal to image size. So it will take input as how many inputs, because yeah, so it basically input size equal to image size. So image size is 784. So we are telling that the first layer has is going to get 784 inputs. And the thing is that you saw here that first we just defined a model, and then since this is the addition of first layer. Now here what happens is that for the first layer we need to specify how much input we need to specify, basically how much input are we going to give to that layer. But you can see here the second line, model dot add, again we are adding another layer. Units equal to num classes, the number classes. So this would be the final network, right? So we have 10 outputs that we out of the 10 we can get any of the output, right? So here unit equal to num classes. So the final layer would have 10 neurons. Activation is softmax. So basically what happens is that we don't really use sigmoid everywhere. Sigmoid we try to use only sometimes, and mostly for the output layer we try to use softmax, ReLU, or functions like this, which are basically which helps us to get our results way faster. So moving on to the code. So first we added the first layer. This is our first layer. Then we added the final input layer. So basically what we are getting here is that first is the input. This is the first, think of this as this is the input layer. We are giving to a first layer which we defined here, which has 32 units. So this is our hidden layer with 32 neurons. And then the final output layer has 10 neurons. And this is the output layer with 10 neurons. So that is basically what we are defining in this code. Now let us run it. Now model.summary just give, and the last part of this code, what does it give is, just keep that thing as an comment so that you guys understand it. So, and the model.summary, it gives the summary of what our how our model has been. So we'll just run this. And yeah, what we get is that first is the first layer. It has 32. Now we'll just see how this is happening. So now the first layer, the output is none. The shape is 32. So we told that we are going to have 32 neurons in the first layer. So that's 32 here. Then the second layer, which was the output layer, which was basically this was the output layer, right? We said that the output layer would have 10 neurons. So this is the output layer which has 10 neurons, and now we can also calculate the parameters here. Okay, so let us see how we have these parameters are basically what the weights and biases. These are the parameters, and the total parameters for the first layer we see it as 25 into 120. Now all of you guys just calculate this thing. So we'll just see here. So basically what we had was input. For input layer, how many inputs we had? 28 by 28. So it was 76 inputs. Then the second layer has basically 32 neurons. Okay, I'm not going to so this is the input. The first layer has which is the hidden layer. Hidden. So it has 32 neurons. And the output layer has basically 10 neurons. Okay, so I'll just denote it by single arrow, but there will be lots of arrows. So the parameters for how will we calculate these parameters for this layer? So what we will do is that since there are 786 inputs, we'll multiply it by 32. So this would give, what this would give is that this would give all the weights, because suppose this is our network, and up till this, and here we have 32 neurons. These dots are, consider these dots as neurons up till 32. Now each neuron will have how many weights? 786 weights, right? So 786 into 32 will give the weights of will give all the weights, plus we will add 32, which will give us the value that we are seeing here, 2512. Simple explanation, 2512. You can do this calculation on your calculator and see if the answer is right or not. You just what we will do, 786 inputs will be for one neuron. So for 32 neurons, we will get these many weights, and these many biases. So these are all the weights. These are all the weights, and this is the biases, and thus we get the number 2512. So that's what those are the parameters here. Then for the output layer, similarly we can calculate it and get this as the parameters as 330. Then after constructing this whole network, what we will do is that we'll train it. So we'll do model.compile optimizer SGD. We'll see in the further session what SGD is. Basically SGD is nothing but it is a type of gradient descent. So we'll see that in the next session. So for now, just remember optimizer equal to SGD. Then loss is the categorical cross entropy loss. We saw what there were lot of loss examples, and so this is cross entropy loss. And the metrics we are using is accuracy. So let us compile this. Yeah, it got compiled. Then history is equal to model.fit xtrain ytrain. So the batch size. Okay, so now when we are going to train this model, the batch size what batch size means is in each batch there will be 128 images, and epochs here is nothing but iterations. So epochs are nothing but iterations. Epochs equal to iterations. And verb was equal to true. Basically, if we say verb was equal to false, we will get some lines like this. Yeah, so we saw here that we had this loading line. When we say verb was equal to false, we wouldn't get that line. And validation dot split. Now we saw that out of the 60,000 example, out there we saw that how many examples, how many input data we had. We saw that we had 60,000 input data and 10,000 output data, right? So now what really happens is that out of the 60,000, out of the 60,000, what we do is that we again keep some part of it, we again divide it in two parts. So what we do is that here now we are saying that validation split is equal to 0.1. So the 0.1 of this would be 6,000 and the remaining would be 54,000, right? So what we do is that we keep this as tell the neural network that keep these many of images as validation data, keep these as validation data, and keep these much as and use all of this 54k as for your training data. And this we do for each iteration. So we tell the neural network to do this for each and every iteration. And so here we write validation dot split equal to 0.1. So basically we try to keep this validation data as small as possible. So 0.1 or 0.2 would be the values you would see usually. So that was it here. Then we shift enter, we'll compile it. Yeah, so I told you, right, verbose basically gives us these lines. So it's just kind of will tell you what happens in each iteration. So for first iteration, you saw the accuracy. We calculated the loss. We also this is loss for validation data. Okay, val dot loss gives us loss for the validation data. Then val dot accuracy gives the accuracy for the validation data. Here we saw it, it is 0.82, that is 82%. We may say 0.87, 0.89. So this is the accuracy. Now model dot what this model dot evaluate will do is that it will calculate the final loss and accuracy. So yeah, the final accuracy is 0.88 and the loss is 0.48. Now we don't really need to go in this. So history.html, we are going to cut that. Then what we will do is that we are going to plot whatever data we got here. We will plot simply, we will just plot it in terms of graph. So here you see that plot, we will plot accuracy, we'll plot validation accuracy, we'll then make the title as model accuracy, plot.title, it just gives us the title model accuracy. Y.label will give the Y label as accuracy, X label will give the X label to the graph as epoch. Then the legend is basically this box, so the training and validation, and let us just run it. And yes, this is basically how our neural network performed. So we got an accuracy of 0.88. So this is kind of good, 0.88. So that's a good accuracy, I guess. Now all we did in this whole everything, all this code, we are going to sum it up in a small functions. Okay, because we can't write each and every time model equal to sequential, then add a layer and then add another output layer and then evaluate it individually. So what we did here was we created a function create dense, which basically initiated the model, it added the layers and added the final layer, and it returned a model. And the input for this function was basically size of the layer. That's what we did here. Then in this function, which is basically evaluate model. So this what this function did was basically it trained our data, trained our model, and printed our graph and showed us the accuracy also. So now we can just run all of these things that we did in this big part. We can just do in this much line of code. So that's it for the code part right now. So further code we'll see after we end the